What is going on, you guys? This is your man King May coming back with y'all right here on the King May YouTube channel. You all welcome here to the RP series on FS22, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a farm build how-to, looking at a bit of the menu, how to use it as far as landscaping and all of that good stuff, and then just kind of talking briefly on, well, you know, kind of farm layouts, at least my opinion on them anyways. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to use the shortcut Shift P here, you guys. Just taking a brief look what I do have thus far. This is just a regular field. We ended up pretty much taking the whole field for the main farm build here. Now we do have some fencing already laid, and my goodness, you guys, I feel like the learning curve is quite a bit steeper on 19 compared to 22. It feels a lot more user friendly. So taking a general look at it here, if you guys haven't already been exploring, learning this whole setup here, well, it's pretty basic. But for starters here, if you guys like the video today, make sure you go ahead, tap that thumbs up button, and of course, if you haven't yet subscribed here to the King May community, make sure you go ahead and you do that now. If you guys are looking to place any of these sheds here, the build mode is just a little bit different. So you can go ahead, you can select which one you would like, pull it out from the menu section, it will show it. Now, it's a little bit different. You used to be able to use some of the keys on your keyboard to spin the piece around. Now, it's a little bit different. You go ahead, you hold that right mouse button, and you can spin this all directions that you would like. Now, we also were able to raise and lower. We can no longer do that either. So pretty much wherever it sits is where it sits. It will do kind of what you see here. The one thing I love about farm builds when people do them is being able to get different leveling, y'all. So I kind of picked the highest point for the house, leveled it as best we could, got some flowers, got some decorations going around there. That's what brings things to life, in my opinion, as well. But anyways, we're going to go down here. We're going to do a little bit more smoothing. So we're going to click on this landscaping here. Now, if you guys haven't messed with these much as of yet, you got 4 different sections: sculpting, painting, trees, and plants. So pretty much as you can assume, if you want to lay down some grass, just go ahead, select that grass painting, paint the area on which you're trying to get grass laid down. Go to your plants, select your meadow anyways, and then go ahead, fill that piece back in. So a little bit different than it was. I will say now, as we're going to sculpting, you got 4 different variants of sculpting that you can do. Your raise and lower, your leveling section, which it pretty much will just grab from either side and pretty much just sort of snap it, if you will. Soften, which is my absolute favorite. It was my favorite in FS19 as well. I got my buildings placed. They're kind of on 3 different levels, if you guys can kind of see that. We're going to try this softening though. Another new feature though is the slope. Now the slope, you can go ahead, you can kind of pick a point in which you would like to set your slope targets and the slope to point. So we hit the right mouse button on the lower portion here, and that's going to set the slope target point. And then all you have to do is hold your left mouse button and it'll just go ahead. It'll create that slope all ready for you. But now that we're at it, I'm going to do a little bit of work here for a minute. I'm going to sort of get my smoothing done, at least around this here portion of the shed and on the way down. Now, the one thing I really do like, we were changing the whole slope, which was affecting essentially this whole area, which means I am going to have to go back into plants, put my grass back in, and then kind of paint out where I'm going to put my gravel. But if you are in the sculpting section and you are just softening, one thing I really do like, if you guys notice, I'm holding it in and it leaves the grass in place, which is awesome. Back in 19, of course, if you guys were playing around with that a bit, it was a completely different situation. It was actually always remove that grass texture and you would always have to try and put it back in. I'm just going around, I'm softening here, trying to get these levels kind of worked back out, just doing a larger section, mainly because I do want to leave. I don't want to dramatically make slopes. I want to soften the slopes, but I want them to stay because I want those different effects in my personal farm build. Now, as I'm continuing to work on this space, you guys, this is an overhang. It's kind of more so meant to be placed where you can back up equipment and whatnot into here. Now, I do want to use this. I'm trying as best as I can. I'm finding what the easiest thing to kind of do to kind of make this smaller, and then use, again, with me being on PC, that right mouse click and then going up here, left clicking on here, and just kind of dragging out and away, getting the area up to it a little bit better. It seems as if this concrete is not really meant, it'll kind of deform a bit on the edge, but the collision of the building at the moment is not letting you really smooth. So that's what I've been trying to do, as you guys have been watching, is kind of grab and snap with this new slope feature. All right, y'all, we've been progressing here just quite a bit. We're starting to work on the road now. I did make this fairly wide just so that we are able to kind of get in with the truck and get nice and turned in here with a nice wide turn. Now, I might be widening this up just a bit more here as we do progress on, but for right now anyways, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna leave that there. Now I'm going to come back in with the painting. We're going to kind of talk about roads a little bit. So one of the main things that I tried to do on my farm builds is to think about it from a realistic standpoint, as far as what would you do in real life. Well, in real life, you know, you're going to have grass. You're not going to be just painting a massive square in cement. I mean, that becomes unbelievably expensive, right? You're gonna have a roadway, you're gonna have a system going through your farm, and in real life, you're not gonna want the corn dryer, for example, right next to the house. Now, I do have a bit of difference. I do have a bit of space in between these. Now, it is fairly closer. I could have moved it further away, but I did sort of want it there. And the other thing that we're going to do is there are going to be some trees in here as we continue on with this build. Now, I'm not going to go super excessive. I know back in 19, that was kind of my thing. I would go super ham on trees just because I loved filling in trees. I loved like a little bit more wooded type look anyways to my farm builds. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get that gravel in here, so we are gonna bring our road system on down here quite a bit. Now, I want to widen this out a bit, as this door is sort of a pull-out point, either coming left or right. Now, traffic is going to be allotted to be able to come this way next to the house. I did sort of do that just so that our pickup truck can go either way, either come down to the farm, maybe grab the gooseneck trailer, or go back out that way if we need to, even with other pieces of equipment here as well. So we are going to come back in. I need to do some more smoothing here. All right, so coming on in here, I kind of want that road to be sort of separated away from the farm yard itself. So this is going to sort of come out from this shed here. It's going to be separated into the actual farmyard itself. We're going to go ahead, we're going to bring that out. I'm going to leave some of that grass in there for right now. I will be coming back in, maybe doing some decoration later on, but just for a nice base here, that's a pretty nice wide turn coming into that nice big overhead door there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to sneak that on back. There we go. So now coming on in here, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna make this all gravel as well, just because, well, concrete is expensive. The only thing we left concrete on was the things that are holding the absolute most weight. I also did want to show you guys over here as well. We already have sort of our beginning of our production section. I saw in the comments that you guys want to see productions right away. Well, with the crops that we do have thus far, I can do a little bit with the sunflowers as far as showing you guys, because we are going to focus on olives for the main RP here. So with that being said, in production chain, I'll be able to sort of show you that sunflowers will play in with the oil section for the olives that we are going to be growing. All right, there you go, you guys. Now, again, sort of a basic overview. We got roads. We got like an entire road system already done here. I'm gonna kind of come back in here. We're gonna widen that out just a little bit more. There we go. Now that we have a road system and we have a yard, we have a very illustrious yard, I will say. I am going to do one of each animal. I want to roughly 10 of each animal. Nothing big, nothing like I was quite doing with cattle anyways on FS19. Not just yet. We will, I'm sure, down the road, because knowing me, I do love dairy cattle, but I want to learn everything. I want to be able to show you guys in some how-to videos as far as every single animal, how to feed them and everything else. So looking at that, we may expand down there, but we have a really cool road system. I'm really liking this so far, how this has been turning out. Coming in here to our silo pit, completely separated all that traffic. Yes, the main gate is still going to be kind of accessible for that main traffic for at least during harvest, but it's immediately veered away, brought down, completely separate of everything going on with the farmyard here in the center, which is kind of coming together pretty cool. Really tough, I will say that for right now, you guys. It will get quite a bit better as global companies, I mean, mods are just coming endlessly for this game immediately. Once global companies is in, it's going to be quite a bit easier to get in here, get this stuff sort of smoothed out a little bit more. But next, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a look at plants here, which is really cool. This old hickory is just large as well. I think we're going to go ahead, we're going to get one of those placed down here as well. I kind of want to cover up the silos just a bit. I really doubt I'm going to need much more, just because we're going to be doing so much random things. I'm not worried about overdoing it as far as farmland. We're not going to have a whole lot of grains and whatnot, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to get a large tree placed down there. There we go. Now I'm just going to go ahead, we're going to scatter a couple large trees. There we go. Now I'm not going to go too crazy. I know I've done that before. We're going to go ahead, we're going to just get a couple of oaks placed down in here now. Now we got a dogwood, we got a couple of different layers of trees here now. All right, now we're going to come on back through. Let's maybe grab some plants. Let's maybe grab some bushes here. Now very sporadic, nothing too crazy about it here. All right, there we go. I didn't do it on every single tree. I did do some kind of random ones as well here. Now I'm probably even gonna go along here maybe with decoration. I'm thinking decorations, and I'm thinking we almost do kind of like a shrub. Maybe we make this fancy here with maybe a shrub line right along by the dryer. I'm kind of liking that, you guys. Now you just go ahead and you hit your left button just to kind of start, and the left button again to end it or create a new angle to start from, and you just kind of keep on repeating that process right until you're done. Now I want to end it there, but as you guys can see, it's going to want to continue to take the angle whichever way I want to go. So either I could bring this back and continue to follow this along this whole hillside here, which I don't believe I am going to want to do. We might later on, we will see, but for right now anyways, I'm just going to bring this back. We're going to right click, and if you guys can see, it'll snap away right there. Or you can maybe hit escape. I haven't tried the escape yet, but you should be able to just hit that. We're going to go ahead, we're going to grab that fence that I was working on before. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to select the fence again. The other two are gates. Now you got a smaller gate next to the fence type, and then the same fence type but a larger, wider gate. Now that's pretty much for every single one of these. This is a different style of fence, and then you have a small gate, large gate in that style. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna left click to extend again off of that same post. We're gonna bring that down right about there, looks good, and then I'm just gonna kind of taper it in about one fence length. There we go, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead, right click, I'm gonna separate off there. I'm gonna leave that be just as it is. We're gonna come on down here and we'll go ahead, we'll kind of break it right there. Now it's roughly close. I'm not gonna be able to get it quite perfect here, but very close, especially for our first farm build. Let's go ahead, let's get a fuel barrel placed down. Now I kind of want a larger fuel barrel here just because our farm is actually decent size. So now of course we're going to take a look at, well, we're going to need a power washer, you guys. So let's kind of pick, I'm thinking centralized. I'm thinking up here, y'all. This way we can kind of come on in, get our power washing done on the main road, get it taken care of, get it into any barn. All right, so now that we're taking kind of a closer look here as we are approaching kind of our final touches, I would say. Now I am going to go through here quite a bit more and kind of continue hitting and touching on this farm just a bit when it comes to landscaping, touching up these spots and just decorations, and of course as mods are continuing to come in. So other than that, I've got a fairly well laid out farm, I will say. Now, I know it's not quite a Jake farm as we come on down here. He's got one heck of a great looking setup down here, but we're getting there slowly but surely.
Yes, and don't call me Shirley.
Our farm is coming together quite nicely here on FS22, you guys. So get this game downloaded if you guys can. It is unbelievable. I'm absolutely loving it. This build section is quite a lot easier. Like I said, this landscaping, smaller learning curve than it was in 19. I will say it is a lot more user friendly. If you guys have any more questions, if you want me to go into further detail, I can. Let me know in that comment section down below. But hey, if you did enjoy this farm build here today, let me know by smashing that thumbs up button. Of course, if you haven't yet subscribed here to the Kingman community, make sure you go ahead and you do that for me now. But anyways, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.